Hey guys, it's Coach Becca here. Welcome to another strength workout. Beautiful day. It's officially summer where we're at, and if you're watching this in the dead of winter or somewhere where it's cold, just imagine you're warm. Today's workout I wanted to do specifically for those of you that run. Now, if you're watching this and you're intrigued by the workout and you say, I'm not a runner, that's totally fine. You'll still benefit from a lot of the movements that we do because even if you don't run, you still need stability, core strength, leg strength, coordination, things like that. But just finished a track workout myself, so that means I did a really hard running session before this, and now the goal of my workout is to improve my resilience, improve my recovery, and improve my strength specific to running, so that I'm able to run really well repeatedly throughout my training cycle. So even if you didn't do a hard run today, or it's your off run day, still a great day to be doing this type of session. And so let me just walk you through what you need a little bit. I'm going to use a set of moderate weights. So moderate for me is going to be different than moderate for you. But this should be a weight that you feel comfortable doing reps of 8 to 15 with, that you can do overhead work with, leg work with, etc. I have a mat out, almost just to spacing, but my dogs will probably try to come and lay on it. And then just have a chair handy for some of the balance stuff that we're going to be doing. So this will be a full 25, 30-minute workout, not including the time I'm chatting to you at the beginning and the end. I'm also, since I literally just finished the run before I started this, I'm also drinking some recovery fuel with me, so I'll be sipping on that throughout the workout, and that's just something I want you to keep in mind. If you do happen to struggle with recovery, you might want to be thinking about what you're having directly after your training sessions to help set you up for success, repeated success. And then, of course, when I wrap up this video, I'll probably eat a full meal just to paint a little bit of a picture of what I do. All right, so what are we going to do to start off our session after doing, in my situation, a hard run? Even, again, like I said, I'll try to remind you of that. Even if you didn't, still a great way to start off your session. We're going to do some foot proprioceptive work. So what we'll start with are just some toe lifts. If you have a towel, you could do this on the towel and kind of add a step. But what we're going to do is just pull our toes up towards the sky as much as we can and kind of press the ball point of our foot down and then relax. So lift up. So it's almost like you're doing, if these are your toes, you're doing like toe lifts. Yeah. So we'll just do a couple of those. If you have a towel and you want to practice squeezing the towel, or just imagine you have a towel, see how I'm squeezing there at the bottom, you can add that step in as well, okay? So let's just do that for the next 30 seconds. Lift, and then an option to squeeze the bottom. Lift up and down. Your toes are a joint that we have to work as well. That's something that can help prevent a lot of injuries. It can help you with your stability too. So do them at your own pace. Like I said, we're just going for time here. Lift up. I personally have hammer toe or bunions, so I need to work on toe mobility quite a bit. Okay, let's do 10 more seconds of the toe lifts with the squeeze at the bottom. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Very good. Awesome. Okay, and then we're just going to stretch out the calves a little bit. So I'm just going to move my weights to the side here. This mat will probably get pretty toasty here in the sun, but this is just my favorite way to stretch out the calves. But if you want to substitute your own favorite calf stretching, that's fine. I'm just going to put my hands on the ground, stick my butt up in the air, and then just alternate pressing one heel down and then the other. You can pause on each side if you need to, or keep it more dynamic. Five, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And now all I'm going to do is drop my knees down to the floor and then kind of press my heels back down. Might not fully touch, but just touch the knees down. Press the heels down. Touch the knees to the floor, kind of like you're in a tabletop, and then into like a downward facing dog, just to kind of stretch out the toes, hamstrings, lats. 5, 4, 3, 2, and land in a tabletop. All right. Now, another exercise I like to do, not so much after a hard run, but I'll do it today as it'll push me, is like a knee flexion drill. So you can do this with your feet extended or flexed. I think this way it hurts a lot more, but that's because I have, like I said, hammer toe. So this position just already hurts for me. The joys of sport. So I'm going to show you both ways and then maybe just try doing 5 of each like I'm going to. I like to cross my arms just to keep my, because you kind of want to keep your like shoulders and hips and knees in line. You don't want to start arching your back a bunch. So sometimes crossing here just helps with that. So I'm going to squeeze my tush. That way I kind of don't get into that back bend sort of situation. So just kind of think about that as a way to help keep your body kind of rigid. You're going to take a deep breath and then just flex at your knees, basically leaning back while in a strict position. And you're going to feel your quads lengthen and then your hamstrings and glutes kind of shorten to allow that movement. Obviously, if you're really fatigued, it's really hard. So I don't like doing it at this point, but I'm going to because it's good for me. All right, so let's do 5. And 4. And 3. And 2. Last one. Good. Okay, and now for the evil ankle flexed version. Okay, so you're just going to come back for 5. And 4. And 3. And 2. And last one. It might not feel like you're going anywhere, and that's okay. Nice job. All right, so let's work on our hips a little bit. One of my favorites, especially when I'm a little on the tight side, is just the 90-90 hip rotations. So you've probably done these with me before if you're a regular. You want your knee to be parallel to your hip back here. You just kind of want 90-degree angles, and you want your tush on the ground. And again, you might notice we're kind of working mobility from the ankles. We just did knees, working our way up to hips. So that's just something I like to do to check in with my body. And then we'll get to the more fun stuff. But mobility training is really important, as you all probably know. So what we're going to do is rotate. Wow, that's tight. And I have my hands behind me just to kind of help shift because you might feel your butt moving around a little bit. And that's fine. You just kind of want to get into a position where you're going to work a little bit of, mobility. Ooh, got some bad blisters on the feet here. So we'll do this for a little while. And if you need to pause on one side, that's fine. Again, I'm moving pretty slow, pretty tenderly, just to kind of work. Obviously, it's normal for things to tighten up after a run. When you're exercising, your body creates waste products, for lack of better words. Some of you may have heard the term lactic acid or lactate. And that just causes your body to slow down. And obviously, when you have all that waste product in your muscles, you're going to feel tight afterwards. So if I were to do this even probably 8 hours from now, I'd probably be moving much differently. So just give your body plenty of love without getting too into details with things. Okay, I know I look like garbage doing those, so I'm going to stop. And then just to kind of finish out our warm-up, and this also allows for us to get a little bit of spine and shoulder mobility, which is really important in running, just in terms of keeping your torso relaxed, maintaining like a good range of motion through, good upper arm carriage, especially as you get tired. For those of you that do marathons, Ironmans, that kind of thing, it can be very easy to just lose a lot of that rhythm and upper body carriage as you fatigue. So for lack of better words, we still need to be doing spine and shoulder type mobility. So this one also has the benefit of hip extension, getting the glutes and core engaged. So you're gonna place one arm behind you. This is called a tripod. You're gonna lift your hips and then press one arm just directly up. You'll naturally rotate through your spine, so don't add extra rotation side to side. And go ahead and just go up into a tabletop, reach straight up towards the sky, come down, and that will work hip extension, spine mobility, and then it's also going to give us a little bit of a shoulder stretch, a little bit of a shoulder stability piece there since we're reaching up and away on one arm. And we're just going to keep going side to side here before we get into our, this might already feel a bit like a workout, and that's fine. It definitely has a functional purpose, so if you're already feeling a little tired, that's fine. We do have some harder stuff coming up. You might notice that I'm barefoot. I enjoy doing strength training barefoot when I can. Obviously, if I go to a gym, there's absolutely no way that I'd be going barefoot in a public gym. But it's really good to strengthen all those muscles and fascia on the bottom of your feet, which can help with a lot of things. So if you can do this barefoot, I encourage you to do so. All right, let's do one more on each side. Whew. Nice. And I forgot to mention that the feet are in a position where they're kind of stacked under the knees. So if that felt awkward to you next time you do it, or if you want to just hit pause and do those again, just try moving the feet around a little bit. All right, now, time for some good stuff. Cannot forget to continue drinking that. I need to get all those delicious liquid calories in. Yum. We're going to do a little bit of power training, which my camera's probably going to bounce around a little bit, so I'll try to move around into a good area. But being explosive is really important as a runner. So just try to find a little bit of space where you can do these. We're going to do sets of 5 squat jumps and then some ankle stiffness hops. And I'm putting them at the beginning of the workout because once we do the strength work, and given that my legs are already pretty tired from running, I want them to have as much pop and explosiveness as possible. So you want to be giving these a maximum effort. You do these body weight. Try not to get stuck doing a really big squat when you're doing an explosive squat jump. Think about doing like a quarter squat. Like you just want to load your muscle. You're just kind of barely stretching a rubber band, not overstretching it so that it breaks. Just loading it enough so you can snap it. So we're going to do a set of 5 of those. And I apologize if my camera bounces around. It's on a wheel set. So I'm going to try to do these with a soft landing, and you should too. So here we go. We're going to go for 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Good. And just whatever you want to do with your arms is fine. So I'm going to give you time to let the heart rate come down. That was such a short interval. It really shouldn't have done too much. We're going to do what's called an ankle stiffness hop next. So you're going to try to jump only from your ankles as opposed to what we did last time in the squat jump. You're jumping from all of your major joints. So you're going to get a little natural bend in the, Red, don't eat sticks. You're going to get a little natural bend in the knee just because, so don't overthink it. But it's almost like you're trying, it's probably easier to show you from the sides. We're going to do 10 of these. You're trying to do as much as you can from your ankles. So it's going to feel kind of goofy, kind of like a kid having a temper tantrum. So we'll do 10 of these. We're going to go 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Oh yeah, I really got my camera bouncing on that one. Sorry guys. And now we're going to try that on one leg. So we're going to do 5 on each side. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Okay. So that's it for our explosiveness. Thank God we are endurance athletes, not 400-meter sprinters, right? Okay. So we're going to do that one more time. So our 5 squat jumps, and try to push really hard on these, but land softly. Do whatever you want with your arms. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, and then the ankle stiffness hops. Sorry if it gets bouncy. Try to allow yourself enough time to recover. We want to be explosive on these. Here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sorry, I was just watching the camera bounce around that whole time. Okay, then we're gonna do 5 on each side. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, not too shabby. I'm gonna roll this up because it's getting quite toasty here in the sun. It's more just an area, so I know where to go so you guys can see me. Okay, and it's time to do some weights. There is one more, like a lateral skater hop that I'm gonna work in, just because runners really struggle to get into other planes of movement. That straight ahead, and triathletes can be the same way. At least they have swimming, but it's a lot of forward movement, and we want to work in some side-to-side type work, but I want to superset that with some strength training. So time to grab the weights. Make sure you've got a chair handy, and make sure you're drinking fluids or your recovery stuff. All right, it's time to deadlift. So if you have done deadlifts before, if the minute I said deadlift, you're like, oh yes, I know how to do these, good on you. How much you should deadlift really depends on what you've got tomorrow and what you did today. So that's why I encourage you to grab moderate weights, because you can always build your muscular endurance. Deadlifts are great for building strength in the, well, more the hamstrings and glutes, but also a little bit the quads. They're great for hip extension, just in terms of building strength and resilience in the lower body. The functional application of them, this is why I have people even in their 90s that I work with still doing them, is that it teaches you how to lift something up off the ground using your legs the correct way. So I'm going to show you our first set from the front, and then I'll move to the side. So you want your feet just underneath of your shoulders. So when you look down, this is what it should look like. I like to start, I have box weights, so it's really easy to pick them up if I just set them outside my feet. And I'm going to try to return them to this position every time. So it's going to be a nice deep deadlift, almost kind of like a, yeah, just a traditional deadlift. So let's not get too fancy. We're going to reach down. The butt goes straight back, and you're kind of creating a triangle from your shoulders, then your hips, so your butt sticking out, and then your knees. You're going to pull your shoulder blades down, exhale and stand up. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. And we're going to 10. Sorry, I forgot to mention that. Here's 5. That's 7, 8, 9, 10. Carefully lower down. Cool. Now, for a single leg exercise, you can use weight on this one. I'm not going to today, but if you're feeling fresh, or maybe you're in a recovery week, or a part of your training cycle where you have just loads of energy, not only am I jealous of you, but you could add weight. You could just hold them by your sides, or you could hold one weight at your chest. You're going to put your foot back onto a bench. Now, if a lot of you have some toe issues like me and you want to go flat-footed here, that's fine. The main thing is that when we're kind of setting up here, when we go down into a lunge, we're spaced in a way that doesn't put a ton of stress on the knee joint. A little stress is fine, of course. We're athletes. So just make sure you're spaced out far enough where you can get into a deeper split squat and then come up. And we're just going to do 5 on each side, okay? So here we go. 5, and this is good for your quads and your butt. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, other side. Good for your balance. This is kind of a run specific. It's a movement. Obviously, you're not doing that in running per se, but you are on one leg 100% of the time in running. So one more. Cool. All right. So we're just going to do 2 more rounds of that. The basic rear foot elevated split squat, 5 per side, and 10 deadlifts. So obviously, all legs. Okay, so get yourself set up. I'll do the first set facing you, and then turn so you can kind of try to mimic that movement. Use your breath, hinge at the hips, Bend the knees. Exhale, stand for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oops, I forgot to turn. Sorry. You'll all forgive me. Okay. 5 per side. Bald eagles are hunting here on the lake. Okay, you can also add running arms in with it. Five per side. Nice. Okay, last set of each. I'll just turn to this side for the whole set on this one then. Okay, get yourself set up. Reach down. Stand tall. 2, 4. Notice that we are bending the knees. A lot of times people that do they like to do the stiff leg deadlifts. That's not us today. We're doing the full traditional deadlift using the whole lower leg. Bending at the knees, hinging at the hips. Let's do 2 more. 1 more. Good. And then our last set of 5. We do have other things to get to, I promise. Supersets always take a lot of time, I feel like, so. Okay, here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Cool. Alrighty. Now, one of my favorite exercises that I think plays to running is a single leg, single arm shoulder press. And the reason I feel that way is because not only do you have to balance on one leg, you're working with the opposite arm, right? And you're kind of stacking your body weight in a position that's important or maybe translates to running. So we're just going to do 8 per side for 2 sets. We're just going to go right side, left side, right side, left side. Okay? Standing on one side. Hi, Mr. Eagle. Here we go. 90 degrees here, please. Nice and tall. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Other side. 90 degrees. Nice and tall. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. One more set on each side. Nice and tall. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Nice job. Okay, grab your other weight. We're just gonna do a set of running man arms, which feels ridiculous. There's weights in here. I'm gonna make them even lighter. So we're gonna do a set of 20 or 30 of these. Let's just see how it feels. Arms at 90 degrees, eye socket, hip pocket, eye socket, hip pocket. You don't wanna go across here to here, okay? And then we're gonna do our side to side, the lateral exercise I mentioned earlier, okay? And then I'm gonna try to sneak in a little bit of core here. So let's see if we can get it all in. Okay, 90 degrees with the elbows, eye socket, hip pocket for 20. 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. And that way you can kind of just practice that nice high arm swing. I always feel ridiculous when I do those, so if you felt silly, good on you. That's endurance sport for you. Okay, so you're gonna start on one side. You're just gonna bound to the other side, get your balance, bound back, and try to be somewhat explosive with that. So we're gonna do 10, 9, 8, maybe 70% effort. 5, 4, get those running arms going. 3, eye socket, hip pocket. 2, last one, each side. Good. Cool, so one more set of those. 90 degrees. My counting was pretty terrible on this last one, so if you're like, how is she counting? The truth is I have no idea. It's just such a fast movement. So I'll try to be better with it here. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And halfway. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Good. Okay, and then our bounders, maybe 70, 80% effort, 10 per side. Bounding for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good. Woo, awesome. Just enough time for some core. I am not gonna unroll my mat because it will probably burn me. Slow your heart rate down. Really just one core exercise that I'm very fond of, because it's so great. It's the plank with hip extension. So you're like, oh yes, I already know this one is. Good. So full plank on the hands. You can do elbows, but I'm not gonna get my elbows onto the deck. So neutral neck, lift the leg, lift the leg. Keep your hips in line with shoulders so you're not doing this essentially, okay? Not that that's a bad movement, but let's do 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. And then, since we never get going out to the side, we'll end with, good Lord. Okay, my deck is getting really warm, so I'm gonna do these holding onto these weights. It doesn't really change the exercise a ton, it just, this is getting hot. So you can do these forearms or on palms, or do them how I'm doing, that's fine. Regular plank, tap to the side, tap to the side. Okay, so let's do 20 of those. I'll show you here from the side. And this is what we'll end on. 20, 19, 18, 17, 16. Keep the hips in line with the shoulders as much as you can. If you don't love it, you can go back to the hip extension. That's fine. Or you can mix it up, one of each. Let's do 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Ooh, good. All right, we're right at 30 minutes. Awesome. And most of the recovery shake gone. Now it's gone. All right, guys, thanks for joining me. Foam roll your bodies if you can after this. Would not recommend, I didn't mention this at the beginning, Would not recommend doing this before a run. If you did that today, don't worry about it. It's fine. Just this kind of stuff is, yeah, it's not an activation routine. So if you have any questions, drop them in the comments. As always, I do this primarily for my athletes so that they're getting the exercises that I want them to do, so I don't make any money off of YouTube at this point because, yeah, it's just kind of a small channel. So if you want to like and subscribe just to support the growth of the channel, that'd be great. No pressure to. Obviously, I'm going to do it no matter what. So thanks for joining. Again, sorry at the beginning, the bouncing. I knew that was going to happen. So if you made it this far, thanks for sticking with it. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time and have a great rest of your day. Happy running.